Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some NFL news that heavily impacts the landscape of fantasy football. And this news deals with the injury of running back Jeff Wilson of the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to be talking about how this injury affects the team and where you should be drafting the other running backs, and if maybe Jeff Wilson is even worth a draft pick, considering if you play in a league with an IR, you can just throw him into the IR spot. So if you guys do end up enjoying this video and you want more fantasy football content from myself, more breaking news content, but Nick, this happened last night, and you're not talking about it until now. That's because more news ended up coming up this morning. So if you guys do end up enjoying this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So Jeff Wilson, running back of the San Francisco 49ers, who was, to be honest with you, looking very good last season. He was a guy that before he was hurt, he was a guy you could definitely rely on week in and week out due to how effective the San Francisco 49ers are running the ball. This year, at least for the beginning of the year, that is going to not be the case because he tears his meniscus, and that puts him out around 4 to 6 months. And on an ambitious standpoint, 4 months from now, it's not looking like he's really going to be able to necessarily even start the season. And if it's 6 months from now, that is going to be even longer. And he's definitely, in my opinion, going to be starting off the season on the IR. Now, obviously, the big names to be talking about here are Trey Sermon, because Trey Sermon was drafted in the 2021 NFL draft out of The Ohio State University to potentially be the guy in San Francisco. Then they also have Raheem Mostert, who, in my opinion, it was going to be a Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson backfield to start the year, but I have dubbed this on my channel so many times. I call the San Francisco 49ers backfield a RBBO, a running back by orgy. A lot of teams, they do running back by committee, RBBC. There's like 3 guys in there. No, in San Francisco, they run every single guy, and if Trey Lance is in the lineup, that's like 6 running backs now. Plus their fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, is going to be getting the ball. So they use a lot of different players in the game. It's basically a hot hand scenario in San Francisco. But my thought was originally that maybe Trey Sermon could eventually become that hot hand, right? And it may take an injury ahead of him for that to happen. Obviously, they bring in Wayne Gallman from the New York Football Giants, who to me is a pretty decent running back, but they also just drafted Trey Sermon, so my thought was that they'd probably end up using him more. And this is where the confusion kind of comes into a factor, because the Athletic's Matt Barrows reports that Wayne Gallman is the 49ers running back 2 behind Raheem Mostert for now. Now, this obviously is something you need to read into, guys. I assure you, do not just read the headline of everything that these websites post, because they're trying to get you to click on it. They're trying to make you click on the articles so that they get paid for the ads that are on your screen. Barrows indicates that for now carries a lot of weight in a crowded Niners backfield. Wilson, who per Burrows was slated as the running back 2 on the team, is expected to miss up to 6 months after having surgery to repair a torn meniscus. Gallman, 26, coming off of a career season, obviously, because Saquon Barkley was hurt, playing pretty well. Rookie Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell have moved up in the backfield based upon the injury. According to Sermon's ADP, which sits above Mostert's, fantasy players fully expect the rookie to seize the team's role, obviously, as the lead back, which is a questionable assumption, which I agree. I agree that that is a questionable assumption due to the fact that this is a running back by committee, a running back by orgy. They give the ball to so many guys, but just like this says, for now, that is completely what I agree with. Wayne Gallman is the number 2 for now. We are so many months away from your fantasy drafts, from the kickoff of the 2021 NFL season, that for now has to be definitely highlighted. That's why they don't necessarily break into what's for now in the headline of the article. So obviously, Wayne Gallman, to me, is just not going to be the guy in that backfield. To me, it is going to end up being Mostert and Trey Sermon, and I like both of those guys when it comes to fantasy football, but it's going to take an injury again, another fucking injury, for one of those guys to be consistent week in and week out, unless one of them, Sermon or Mostert, becomes the head guy, becomes just so by far and away better than the other that he becomes the starter, or that he just gets so hot in a couple of games in a row that he's the guy for like 3 weeks, and then the other guy's the guy for the next 3 weeks, which seems like what it normally is in San Francisco. So which guys would I be drafting in this 49ers backfield? To me, there's only 2 guys you should be drafting. I think that being a little ambitious and trying to draft Wayne Gallman might be a little too kind of scary in my opinion. Originally, I was just going to be drafting Raheem Mostert and as well as obviously Jeff Wilson. But now with Jeff Wilson's injury, I think that you can easily draft Mostert as well as Trey Sermon. I think that Trey Sermon showed a lot of talent in college. Now, obviously, he was not a top 2-round draft pick, so that doesn't necessarily mean that he's guaranteed to get some play time, but I do believe, based upon what I've seen at The Ohio State University, that he should be getting drafted highly enough. Now, the issue is going to be with this whole situation is if Trey Sermon gets the rookie hype that other rookies always inevitably get, because they are such a unknown. But now in the 49ers backfield, you go from being an unknown to being an unknown in a crowded backfield to being an unknown in a crowded backfield that uses multiple running backs every single game, to where maybe people are going to be hoisting him up far too high in your drafts, right? People might just suck him off and get him way too high in the drafts to where I don't want to be drafting Trey Sermon. So if I'm being honest with you, I'm probably going to be the guy drafting whoever comes off second on the board, whether that's going to be Trey Sermon is like the first guy for the 49ers. I don't want him. I want Mostert. But if Mostert's going to be the guy going higher in your drafts, then I want Trey Sermon. That's kind of just how I feel about a situation where I don't truly have a 100% grasp of the offense. So let me know down below what you guys think. Do you guys think that now with Jeff Wilson gone for a couple of months, are you guys looking to draft Gallman? Are you looking for Mostert? Or are you looking for Trey Sermon? Or are you just completely avoiding this situation because you don't fuck with backfields that have 7,000 other running backs to the point where you are going to be so confused every single week? So let me know down below what you guys think about this whole situation. Jeff Wilson, I apologize that you ended up getting hurt. I hope that you end up recovering fully. I like Jeff Wilson, so hopefully he ends up okay. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did end up enjoying this. Nothing super in-depth today, as it is my birthday, and frankly, I didn't feel like sitting here for fucking 4 hours trying to figure out all the stats for the next videos. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I love you guys all. Thank you guys so much again. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Goodbye.